All right, here it goes. I'm stopping my share. I found the button.
Yay.
Here we are today at the Crystal Clear Point Studios with Miles of Smiles Events. And watch out, we're talking again, or we're talking again, watch out. It doesn't matter. It means the same thing either way, doesn't it?
I think
So
it does.
I'm Deborah Colleen Rose. Um, Dr. Pierce is having some kind of technical difficulty. And then we have Lulu Morris here and
Herbalist Lou.
Herbalist Lou. Blue herb blue. I don't know. We got to come up with something that rolls off the tongue better.
Okay.
Herby Luby. I don't know.
No, no.
All right, we'll put that on our list of pet peeves because that's what we're talking about today. Pet peeves. And I have to tell you, I thought I had a lot of them, but when I started researching, guess what? I don't have hardly any at all because I found a list of 75 of the most common pet peeves in the United States. 75.
And let's see. I found the 50 worst pet peeves that grind on relationships.
Oh my God. Does it have anything to do with dirty underwear and socks and clothes?
I'm sure it does.
So, okay, I want to read this definition of pet peeves because I thought that was interesting what the final sentence in the definition says. A pet peeve is a particular thing that bugs you every time. If your pet peeve is how people misuse words, you're in the right place. I do that all the time. It bugs Scott. I mispronounce words all the time. That's because I grew up as a hillbilly, okay? A peeve is an annoyance, and a pet peeve is an annoyance that is nurtured like a pet. It's something someone can never resist complaining about. There are all kinds of pet peeves like littering, misusing punctuation, driving slowly in the fast lane, talking during movies. If something like that drives you crazy and you have to yap about it, it's a pet peeve. Pet peeves tend to be smaller issues. No one would call terrorism a pet peeve. That's the
No,
sentence that blew me away.
no,
Terrorism is not a pet peeve.
no.
So what were some of the things that you found on your list of pet peeves?
Uh, my personal list.
No, no,
Uh,
the list that you found. That start with the
oh, number
yeah.
one, being utterly unreliable.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that is constantly comparing your relationship to others.
I hate that. This may be my list.
Being unresponsive.
Oh, I really hate that. Oh my God, I hate that. That is on my list. I did my list, and it's on my
They don't
list.
respond to your calls or your texts.
Yeah. Or sitting in your room, sitting in the same room with you, and you say something, and they don't even grunt.
Yeah, it shows a lack of respect
Yeah.
and a lack of interest, of course, but mainly a lack of respect. Woohoo, staying too friendly with your exes.
Why? Is that a pet peeve?
Well, I think it is for some people. Uh, you know, I think that they feel that it's undermining their relationship. Uh,
Is by too friendly? Do they mean they're still having sex or they
well,
don't wait at the ball
I don't,
game?
that doesn't say that. It just says that
What the
you have
hell?
multiple ex partners, not just an ex spouse, then there's mistrust, jealousy, and curiosity about whether or not the ex is actually over your partner.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a pet peeve. That sounds like a relationship disaster.
Well, I think it is a relationship disaster. I wanted my ex to be friends with his ex, uh, so we could actually have conversation about some things, and it just snowballed into things that I wasn't expecting.
Well, I was best friends with my husband's ex, and she and I were really great friends until she passed away a few years ago. And it was great. So because I knew that I don't bitch about my husband. I think that's rude to bitch about your husband to other people.
Yeah, probably.
But I could mention something. She goes, I know that's bugging you because he used to do it to me too. And so, we had a little camaraderie there at times, but we neither one allowed the other one to bitch about him, you know.
So the number five is resorting to the silent treatment.
Oh, see that's a relationship issue again.
How old are we now?
Yeah,
Well, it's
exactly.
normal to need space. Cutting off all communication doesn't really serve any purpose. You are not there to punish your partner.
I could never do the silent treatment. It would build up in me and build up in me and build up in me until I just had to explode and say what I had to say, you know. I can never be silent.
So, not being considerate about the small things, like, let's see. Oh,
Isn't that most women?
uh, yeah, things that add up over time, and you don't speak about them when they're bugging you, but so you just let it fester.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's a big deal instead of a little deal. Yeah, and every man's pet peeve saying, I'm fine.
I never say that. I never say that. Never, 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 never.
I used to, I don't anymore.
Here's what I say. Yeah, there's something wrong with me. Let me tell you what you don't know about you.
Oh, this is an odd one. Not cleaning up after sex.
What?
Well,
What? Okay, just skip over that. Keep going because you don't even want to know where I would go with that. Keep going. Move on.
being late all the time.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. Walking away during a fight.
Yeah, I hate that too.
How about you're really deep in this conversation and you say, I just really don't like it when we argue. We're not arguing. We're not. I said, yes, we're having a fight. No, we're not having a fight. Okay.
To me, you're not having a fight unless you're yelling really loud or
Mm-hmm.
you slap each other. Then it's a
Mm-hmm. Well,
otherwise it's a heated, passionate conversation.
yeah. Well, I do say, it's just a discussion that's at its peak.
At its peak.
Um, acting differently around family. So some people revert to their childhood tendencies around their family,
Mm.
and that kind of, it's infuriating. Actually, is what it is
Yeah, but a
because.
lot of these sound like they're geared toward relationships,
Mm,
not just people. My pet
oh
peeves are,
yeah,
are about
this is just
everybody.
specifically for relationships.
Okay, okay, now we're clear.
Okay, sharing your partner's flaws with others. That's
Yeah,
what you
that's
were
rude.
talking about.
That's rude and disrespectful.
Always letting one person pay. Well, but what if your funds are all together? I mean,
I think that's
so
when you're dating. I think that means when you're dating or when you're like maybe living together but not married. Yeah, I don't, his money is my money. I don't get
mhm,
that.
mhm. Well, they're saying that even if you share a bank account, that the other person ought to pick up the tab and go to the cashier.
Oh, well, I don't
I,
ever go to the cashier.
I don't see
The
that,
cashier
but
comes to us or Scott goes to the cashier. I don't
okay,
do cashiers.
not allowing for space. In other words, being too clingy to, I mean,
Mm-mm.
when you need space, you need space. Even my grandson said, Mom, I need you to give me a little space.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
How about being on your phone all the time?
yeah, that's rude. So a lot of these are about rudeness. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
Or that
Because
pet peeves are about being rude?
I think that telephone thing even goes for a regular list. I mean, I've been called on it. You called me on it. I was going to look something up and you go, put the damn phone down.
I did.
Okay, I'm putting it down.
I don't have to be the center of your universe, but I better be real close to it.
Well, the other thing, number 16 here is complaining about your relationship on social media. What?
Oh, that is just tacky.
That is
Tacky.
worse than tacky.
Yeah, that's tacky.
How about letting your partner make all the decisions? Even when you're begging the other person to at least make the decision where you're going to eat dinner.
See, but to me, that's again, that's not a pet peeve. That's a relationship issue. You got a dynamic imbalance there that needs some discussion. That's not a pet peeve. Pet peeves are when people just do things that are stupid that annoy you that other people would ignore, in my mind, you know?
Well, how about sharing chores and not doing your part?
Relationship issue.
Okay. Being rude to others.
Okay, that's just a character issue. Yeah. That's
Mhm. How about too
maybe this
little
is the
or too
problem
much
here.
social time? Huh?
Maybe this is the problem here. People don't really know what pet peeves are. And we have made excuses for so many things that are wrong that we don't even really understand how wrong they are.
How about this is not a pet peeve, I don't think. I think you're right. This is a relationship. Not knowing how to apologize.
Oh, that's a character issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
I'm tired of
acting
your
jealous,
list is pissing me off. Your list is pissing me
being self-centered. How
character
about
issue.
bad table manners? Doesn't that go for everybody?
Well, okay, so that can be a pet peeve because define bad table manners. I mean, talking with your mouth full, yeah. Using the wrong fork, not necessarily,
No.
so
I
that's
think
too
it's
broad.
about I think it's about having crap all over your face and not wiping it off, or you
Hmm.
know, or chewing with your mouth full, or trying to talk with your mouth full.
Or taking the last nacho and not asking me if I want it.
I didn't do that.
I know.
How about trying to change your partner?
That's wrong. That's just stupid.
Well,
That's a
it doesn't
stupid
work,
issue.
first of all.
Yeah, yeah, that's a stupid issue.
How about I was just joking?
Okay, that is a bully issue.
Mhm.
Okay.
How about putting friendship above romance or above your romantic relationship?
Well, I think that classifies as a maybe because it depends on what stage you're at in the romance. Okay, because I'm going to tell you what, I was never one of those women that would cancel plans with a friend to go out on a date.
Right. And I think once the plans are made and on the calendar, then you have to tell the date, I'm sorry, but I have plans.
Yeah, because if I'm important enough to date, they'll come up with another date. Now with my husband, there's a different set of rules. I will go to him and say, I have this plan. Is what you want to do something that we can do at another time, or do we need to do this now? And we make a joint decision on how to handle that because he is my primary relationship. And if he
Mhm.
says, oh no, go and do that, we're fine. If he says, I'm really feeling ignored and I need your attention, then I'm going to cancel my plans. That's how I make my decision.
And then this, I think, is personality just being cheap.
That's a personality. That's how they're raised, personality. It could be a lot of things. And define cheap because I don't want to spend $200 on a bottle of wine that I'm not going to drink. Does that make me cheap? But there are people
Maybe,
that will
but
do that.
that happened to me one time when we were in San Antonio. I said, do not order the $300 bottle of wine. Don't do it.
Mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
said, first of all, it's a waste of money. And second of all, how many glasses are we going to drink? Two?
Well, if they drink more than that, then you got another issue. Are they an
Yep.
alcoholic? Are they a wino? I like that word
How about,
wino. Wino.
I think that this next one, I think women see it as a character flaw, but maybe it is a pet peeve, never refusing to ask for help.
No, I don't think it's a pet peeve. I just think that's the personality thing. It's involved character, it can involve ego, it can involve self-confidence, it can involve personality of whether they're an introvert or extrovert, you know. Um, all of my friends have been men, pretty much, except, a few stragglers here and there. And, I've just had to accept the fact that it's true that men really need to feel like they're in charge of themselves.
Hmm.
That's really, it seems to be really across the board. Now, maybe not so much with, the new metrosexual generation and all this stuff, but, and I'm not trying to be rude, it's just that there is a different dynamic coming into play. But the men that I've known that are over 40 all my life, it's a sense of independence.
Okay. How
Does
about
that
not
make sense?
making time for sex?
Huh? Oh, well, that's definitely not a pet peeve. That is a major red flag.
Okay, now, this is I don't understand this. Oversharing?
Well, okay, I do get that because people tell me everything. Like I just they do. I just met someone last week in a professional relationship, okay? And before I left their office, I knew everything about their life. And I mean literally, I knew that they were in recovery. I knew how many times they had been married. I knew the dynamics of their children and grandchildren and their relationship. I knew their foibles. I knew where they had tried. I mean, everything. I could write a short biography. Now, do I mind? Not most of the time, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I just want you to drop my Coke off at the table and leave and not talk to me, you know?
Exactly. Uh, you know, I appreciate a waiter or a waitress that comes and makes sure we have what we need, but it's that constant, how you doing now? Okay, you okay now?
Okay, so was I at lunch with you one time where the waiter sat down with us? Just pulled out
Yeah,
the,
that was one. That was it.
and you're like, um, I'm not going to leave you a tip if you don't get your ass up.
Oh, I don't know.
I just have one of those faces that people either love or hate, and they just spill their guts to me. It's bizarre. And they even asked me when I left, he goes, "Does this happen to you very often?" I'm like, "All the time, all the fucking time." I'm just used to it.
Okay, saying I told you so.
No, don't be doing that. I will, because you know what? If you say that to me, I'm going to turn around and say, "I told you so," when I slap your face. If you say it to me, I'm going to slap all four of your cheeks. Don't be saying that to me.
Well, there it is.
Don't be doing that. I told you so. Fortunately, I'm right enough in my life. I don't hear that very often.
Oh, yeah, taking your partner for granted.
Yeah, that now I think, yeah, that can be a pet peeve to a certain degree, but if it gets to be where it is detrimental to the relationship, now we've moved into a relationship issue.
Being controlling, telling your partner who they're allowed to hang out with, how to dress.
Uh-uh. That's a relationship issue. That's a dynamic.
I think this is a repeat of just getting the silent treatment, refusing to talk about issues.
Yeah. Well, it's a different, when you refuse to talk, usually that's a punishment. And when you won't talk about issues, that's a hide. You're hiding. So they are different. They're still their relationship issues, not a pet peeve.
So ditching your partner,
That's called divorce. And that is a real big issue.
if it happens occasionally, it's no big deal, but any more than that, and you could end up with a serious resentful significant other.
What does it mean ditching them? Like you're at a party and you hide from them, or what?
Well,
What did?
whether it's for friends, work, obligations, or family, habitually ditching your partner for plans with others.
Okay, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. All right, I want to hear your pet peeves. I'm tired of this list. It's pissing me off. My pet peeve is when something's stupid. That's a stupid list.
when the list makes no sense,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Mm.
definitely a relationship list,
I,
and it might be your pet peeve, but is it really
oh, I
about
like your
the
nail. Put your
relationship?
nails back up. Put your nails back up. I like it. Oh, those are pretty. That's a pretty color.
They need to be redone.
Okay. All right, what is your list?
Well, I didn't write it down, but let me just tell you that when I thought I don't really have any pet peeves, but I do.
Yes, you do. Oh my God, I cannot believe you said that. And we'll be back. No.
She's calling the people with the little shirts that put your hands behind your back.
Oh my God. I want to know what
Um,
drugs you're on.
I try not to be vocal about the drivers because they can't hear me either anyway, but I end up doing it because I can't stand people who don't pay attention when they're driving.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, that didn't used to bug me. And then it got on my nerves really bad after COVID. And I
Hmm.
found myself screaming. And I used to yell at Scott not to scream when people did things. So I'm like, okay, I'm the queen of reframe, so how can I say something out loud and it be more positive? So here's my new reframe. God loves you and I'm trying.
Well, it's really hard because you don't want to be negative about things, but when people do stupid things, I don't know how else to be. What'd you do?
Well,
Get your driver's license in a crack jack box?
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've been studying about curses and I've studied
Um,
this all my life, with Florence Shen and different things, but I've gone into a deep rabbit hole with, energy and curses. When we say stuff like that, we are cursing ourselves.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
that's why,
it doesn't do you any good to try to um, you know, that's when you're supposed to go, I just send you love and light.
oh no, don't say that. Okay, that's a pet peeve of mine. I hate that phrase. Love and light, love and light. I
Well, you
hate that.
just have
It
to,
doesn't sound sincere.
I hope that uh I hope that what happens for you is for your best, highest and best. Whatever happens, I
It
hope it's
sounds
for your.
sincere. I wouldn't mind love and light if it sounds sincere, but I rarely hear anyone say it when it sounds truly sincere. Okay. I
Well, I
want
always try to
I
go with the highest and the best for someone.
I want it to sound as sincere as it does when I say fuck you. That sounds sincere. That
Okay.
sounds sincere. And I want that to sound that way. But, I did think that that was a good reframe for me to say, God loves you and I'm trying to, but I realized that that's still a partial curse. So you've got to say, God loves you and I know he wants me to love you too. I'm sending you my love. And I started doing that and I didn't want to call him motherfucker anymore. That went away. And I actually started feeling myself being more compassionate, you know, and more forgiving. And now I'm not yelling anymore and I don't feel the need to say anything. So,
Um, I think that before 40 or before 30, before kids, maybe. No, that's not true either.
you just sit there lying. What is wrong with you?
Before I was 40, I jumped to conclusions. I would yell at people. I would say, I would say things that were unkind. And then after 40, I kind of like, well, I need to not say that,
Well,
you
that
know?
makes sense. You know,
I
what I
need,
what I figured out in the past 10 years is that people jump to conclusions about me all the time,
mhm.
and they're wrong. 99.9% of the time, they're wrong about what I meant or what my intention was, which is a really lonely feeling. It really is. But on the other side of the coin, if that's the case, even though I think I'm excellent at reading people and understanding motives, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt as well.
Well, I think one of my pet peeves is when something happens, there's a misunderstanding between two people, and you try to explain it, and you're not allowed to.
Well, again, that's a character issue, though. That's not a pet peeve. That's a character issue. Because if you are in an exchange with someone, no matter how superficial it may be,
Mhm.
and you don't allow that person to reciprocate energy, You've blasted them, and by either, by giving them negative energy, or you've shut them down, which is another form of negative energy, and you're not willing to accept their energy exchange, then why are you even having an exchange with them in the first place? And I'm talking about bottom of the totem pole, dealing with service people like cashiers or waiters and waitresses. You're having an energy exchange with them. You need
Yeah.
to listen to them, you know, all the way up to romantic marriages, commitments, partnerships, that type of thing. So I just think people are assholes most of the time. I really do.
Well, yes. Um, I suppose though that the hardest thing for me is when you're dealing with someone in the service industry, whether they're checking your groceries or taking your menu items or whatever it is they're doing, and they just are not they're not with you. They're either sarcastic or, okay, what do you want?
Yeah, but you don't know what's going on in their lives. They may have just
Right.
gotten by their partner. They may have just gotten kicked out of their apartment.
You're right.
They may be constipated and
And
just really need to get something out of their system, literally. You don't
well,
know. And it's not
that's
about us
why,
all the time.
yeah, but that's why I try not to jump to conclusions anymore because
Well,
you
I wish
don't
you had
know
been
what,
with me today. I wish you had been with me. I'm usually pretty good at figuring out people. Today, I had the most weird exchange. There was a woman at the chiropractor's office, and she was sitting in the front, and they moved her over here to the next waiting area. And then they told me to go to this next waiting area. Well, there was only three chairs. There was four chairs, and there was an empty chair, an empty chair, and then where I was to sit. And in the chair that would be between us, she had placed her purse. And, I had smiled at her when I came in, and she just, now people usually smile back at me when I smile. I have been told I have a nice smile. I don't know, but people usually respond to my smile. She didn't smile at me. And I said, "Do you mind if I sit my purse right next to yours? I promise, it won't take up a lot of room." She looked at me just like that, picked up her purse and moved it over to the other chair. And I said, "Oh, I didn't mean to make you move your purse. I'm sorry." Did not look at me and did not respond. I'm like, I'd like to slap all four of her cheeks right now.
well, I just think, that's just being rude.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Okay, here's what confused me. Okay, I'm just going, she's rude. So then they take us both into the therapy room. Okay, this is the
Mhm.
chiropractor. And she was there first before me. She walked in front of me, and they said, "Where would you like?" They give the option to land on the bed or sit in a chair. She goes, "What would you like to do?" She goes, "Take care of her first." Still not looking at me. Still not a kind tone of voice. And I said, "Thank you. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it." No response. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to think of this. I'm not picking up anything on the spectrum. I'm not picking up any depression here. I don't know what's going on here. And, I just felt bad. And I was like, I cannot think of anything I did that offended her.
You
Because if
did.
I would like to say, I didn't mean to offend you, you know?
No, you didn't. That sounds like a personality issue. And she was afraid that you might know something about her she didn't want you to know. So she wants you to go first and talk about your problem and deal with your problem first.
Well, we didn't talk about anything. They just put those little things on you, and they make your muscles go and all this stuff, and they ice you down so that you're already flexible and loose for the adjustment. I'm gonna tell you what, this chiropractor is really helping my sciatica. I'm so thrilled. But
Good.
anyway, I was just like, you know what? I don't get a lot of negative responses from people anymore that don't know me. The people that give me negative responses have known me a long time and decided they're tired of my bullshit. But you know, but
I think I'm more sarcastic with people I've known longer, and that's just my humor to be sarcastic, and sometimes it comes out as negative, you know. But
Yeah, it does come that way that sometimes, but I
yeah.
like it. But you can see where if someone's insecure or in a bad mood or whatever, it might, because I have the same thing. Let
Hmm.
me let me tell you a few things on this list I found of 75. We're not going to do them, but there were some that I liked. Being interrupted. Now, I get accused of interrupting people a lot. My thing is that if you pause too long, I assume that you're done.
Yeah.
I don't interrupt. but my brain is also working at 90 miles an hour and it's hard to slow down. I don't like it when people talk during a movie, even to me. Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk.
I couldn't hear. Okay, here's the thing about my problem is I do interrupt, but you know why? I have something in my head, and if I don't say it right then, it's gone.
I know.
So
I
I
give
guess
you
I
grace.
need a notepad to write it down on.
And I know that on the podcast, it looks like I interrupt a lot, but there's lag sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you know, loud chewing or drinking drives me insane.
What do you mean?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Um, Staring at the phone, we talked about that one. Standing too close. God, especially behind me. Do not
You
get
just
up
want to
off.
go,
Yeah.
personal space.
Yeah. Uh, See, there's other things like slow internet, slow drivers, staring at people. That doesn't bother me. I don't get this. Speaking about yourself in the third person.
Well, let me tell you what I did today.
That's not the
But you
third
say,
person.
but you say, um, or what is that? The Queen's
We
League?
do not find that amusing. We
We do
are
not
offended.
find that amusing.
Um, Saying no offense. No offense intended, but yeah, you know
Yeah,
it's offensive, or you wouldn't
yeah,
be saying that. Cracking knuckles. So a lot of these are sounds, tapping and clicking a pen, correcting grammar or pronunciation. I don't mind that because I did grow up as a hillbilly, and I grew up learning vocabulary through reading, and phonics fails miserably. I used
oh,
to think the word mature was mature, because no one
mhm.
around me used the word out loud. So, if I say something wrong, I welcome being corrected, you know. Um, the other side of that is now like when you text, it's considered bad form to put periods or extra spaces. And I'm like, excuse me, you know,
Yeah,
I'm doing,
I don't even spell words right when I text. So,
yeah.
and then if I'm
Pessimism.
not spelling them right, then what is that? Autocorrect takes over. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and it's
Autocorrect
always
does.
a duck.
Passive aggressive, that bothers me.
Yes.
Um, Being told to calm down,
Oh no,
no,
you don't tell a Texas lady to calm down.
no. Pessimism, the real Debbie Downers out there, okay? Every time you say something, they got to say something negative. I don't need that. That's a curse. Again, that's a vibrational thing. That to me, that's heavy duty crap. That's not just a pet peeve. That's heavy duty crap. You're cursing me whether you intend to or not when you do that.
Yeah, because you bring all that negativity into the space with your pessimism.
Here's one that made me laugh because Scott does it to aggravate me. I'm I don't like PDAs. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm more comfortable with them now at this stage in my life than I ever have been, but I'm not real fond of them. And
Mhm.
Scott loves, loves, loves doing that. And he will do that just to annoy me. And it was really funny when we first started dating. Of course, he was like 12 when we started dating, and I was already an old woman. And we would go out to a restaurant or bar, and and women always hit on him. Like I didn't even exist. They always hit on him. And one night, this woman's hitting on him. I'm like, honey, she's flirting with you. And she leaned over. She goes, oh, isn't that nice? Your mom is being your wingman. He goes, I just love my mom. And he leaned over and started French kissing me. I thought she was gonna throw up.
Well, I like it when I'm with someone younger and they say, well, what does your mom want? I said, hey, let's call your mom and see if she wants some.
Um, Telling people they look tired. What's the point of that?
That
I don't.
doesn't lift anyone's spirits.
Oh, here's the one I hate. I hate this one. Hate, hate, hate it. I'm sorry you feel that way. No, you're not. You are not sorry. You're just sorry that you didn't win the argument and you didn't change my mind, but you're not sorry I feel that way. Punch you right in the face. I like to think about hitting people. I do not hit people anymore.
She talks about it a lot, but she
I
doesn't do it.
do. I have a lot of fond memories. I do. Um, I don't know, immature jokes, arguing in public, burping, having to repeat yourself. I have to do that all the time. It drives me nuts, you know. Um, Tailgating. What the hell is that? Oh,
Yeah, I hate that.
okay. The sound of styrofoam on styrofoam. Urgh. Never offering to contribute to a bill. I just won't ask you out. You do that to me 3 times, I'm not going to ask you out anymore. Or I'll just tell you, you're going to pay for your own. I'll just, I see that's the thing. I just tell people things. I don't understand why people are hesitant about telling people what they expect and what they'll put up with.
Well, I think you should because a lot of times when I would go, well, when I would have a date, I would say, now we're going to go Dutch on this date, right? I pay for mine, you pay for yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so that was the list I found. I shortened it because there were 75 things on there. And so here's my pet peeve list. Telling me what I mean. Do not tell me what I mean. I know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And here's the one that really just annoys me no end. When you say or do something and the person goes, "Oh, that triggers me."
Oh, well,
I don't care. If you know something triggers you, you have an obligation to do one of two things. One, tell people up front, I can't be around loud noises. Like I know my dog cannot be outside during the 4th of July.
mhm.
Okay. I just know that. Okay. So if you know that something's about to happen or could happen or you expect it to happen, then tell that person this will have a negative effect on me so they can try to avoid it. If it's already happened and you know it triggers you, go get fucking help. Get some coping skills. Why is it my job to protect you from your triggers?
Well, and do what you said to me. If someone's not aware of it, you say, when such and such happens, then I feel this way, and I try not to put myself in that situation.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And then once you've explained it, the other person should go, "Oh, okay."
Or the next one that goes hand in hand with that. Well, when you do this, it makes me feel this. Sorry. You're responsible for your feelings. There are a lot of people that hurt my feelings. I do get my feelings hurt. I am human.
Mhm.
A lot of people think I'm a lizard person, but I'm not. Okay, look at my eyes. I'm not. So, but I'm responsible if it hurts my feelings. Now, if I see that you do it all the time and I think you're doing it on purpose, I'm going to tell you. If I see that you do it all the time because you're ignorant, I'm going to tell you. You know, I take charge of my feelings and
You
protecting
just
myself.
like to hurt my feelings, don't you?
Yeah, and if I that that's the case, then bye. Bye, Felicia. See you later, Gator. No. Don't do that. This is the one that gets me on Facebook right now. This is the one that I'm just like, I just want to go nuts. When non-Christians constantly quote the Bible to make broad statements about how bad Christians are behaving. I just want to say to them, did you fail to notice that there are things in that Bible about you as a non-believer, but you don't quote those, do you?
No,
Quit,
they don't.
quit, quit quoting a book about something that does not relate to you. If you're not a Christian, quit throwing the Bible in people's face like that. Quit taking it
Yeah, I
out of
don't like
context.
that either.
So, not picking up after yourself, not being careless about your environment, leaving trash around, just a lack of good, just being considerate and good manners.
Yeah, consider it. Yeah, I
You
get
know,
that.
and not res we already talked about these two, not responding verbally to texts or conversations and being a Debbie Downer. I mean, so I the bottom line is I put up with a lot of shit from you people. I do. I do. But I don't consider that your problem. I consider it mine, you know?
Until you explain something,
Yeah.
and then it's on the other person to try to help you with that.
Yeah, to be considerate. And if I feel
Mhm.
like you're failing to be considerate and I feel like we had an agreement. I mean, it's one they say, you know what, this bothers me. And you go, okay, that's not an agreement. An
No.
agreement sounds like this. I will in the future do my best to be aware of that and to be more, focused about not doing that,
Yeah.
that type of thing, you know. So anyway, it just seems to me that we as a society are passing the buck on our happiness, making other people responsible for it.
And it's never been that way. Your happiness is your own responsibility.
Is it? Is
Yes,
it?
yes,
Yeah, it is. It
yes.
is. So, um, I don't
I
know.
didn't
That's
always know that, Deborah. So I thought other people needed to make me happy.
now see, I always knew I was responsible for my own happiness. What I had to learn or unlearn was that I was not responsible for everybody else's happiness.
Ah, yes.
That just because they told me that that was my job and that I was responsible, that was not true. I was lied to by many, 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 many people during the course of my life. Not responsible for that.
No,
So, my attitude is here's my wagon. These are the horses I have hooked up to my wagon. This is what the ride will be like. If you want to ride with me, you'll feel free to ride. Otherwise, go find your own ride. You know? So that to me, that's just simple. It's just a simple. What is this light is bought? Now, this is a pet peeve. I can never get the lighting right in this room. But again,
yeah, I
that's
don't have
on.
it right either.
So anyway, pet peeves. But the thing
Yeah.
about it is that I want people to think about how many relationships they've had that have gone sideways, gone sour, that were because of their reaction to something that would be considered a pet peeve. And then I want them to think about things that have gone sideways or sour. And is it possible it's due to an issue with their own personality or character? And how many people are willing to take that good hard look at themselves? I mean, people act like it's a character flaw that I'm confident. You always act like you know everything.
No.
No, I know what I know, and I'm willing to listen to what you have to say. And if I'm wrong, fine. If I'm not, even better. But I'm willing to listen, and I'm not going to be apologizing for something that I think or feel to be right. Like
Well,
I had
in
a friend.
many instances, people look on at me as the expert on medical things. I'm not an expert, but I do, if I have experience with it,
Well, you were a nurse, you know a lot,
I
you
speak
know?
up.
So, and that's why I always ask your opinion about things like that. And um, you know why I know I'm right about most things now?
Now, what?
My daughter told me so. My daughter, who spent the majority of her first 25 years of life telling me how wrong I am about everything, is now telling me how right I am about everything. And I
Uh-huh,
accept that.
right.
I accept that.
Mhm. Finally, the wheel has turned the other way.
Well, I knew I had finally matured to a level that I didn't think I could achieve when I told my husband I would let him teach me to play chess. I hate to lose. I hate to lose. And I get and it's not that I hate to lose. I hate to play something that I feel incompetent at.
Hmm.
It frustrates me. And he has whooped my ass out of 5 games out of 6, but I won my first game last night. So
Yay!
I'm finally remembering the knight moves 2 and 1 or 1 and 2. The bishop moves this way. The castle goes horizontal and vertical. The bishop goes vertical. I'm fine. Just remembering that is a huge improvement for
Well,
me.
Robert, he learned to play chess early. He was 8, and he was just whipping everybody's butt. When we had a coffee house, people, oh, you want to play chess? Yeah, okay. And this 8-year-old was winning all the time.
I find it fascinating now because, I don't know how to strategize. Like I said, I'm just learning. But what I realized last night is that I play a hell of an offensive and don't know how to do defense at all. I will give up everything on the board except something that can move a long ways and my king in an effort to try and win. I don't care. Get rid of the pawns. I don't care. Have that knight. I don't care. We're going to beat your and I did win doing that strategy and just give them up because you know what? In my opinion, they're just in my way and they keep me from moving.
I don't remember what to do with them after I get so excited.
Just get them out of my way. I play checkers that way too. I want two kings. I want two, checkers that
Mhm.
have been kinged, and I want everything else off the board so I can move.
I kind of play that way too.
Yeah, yeah, that's because we're aggressive bitches.
Yeah, there we are.
All right. So we didn't go down a rabbit hole. I'm so proud of us.
What?
We did not go down a rabbit hole. We stayed on point, and I think we're under an hour, so I can get this on TikTok this week.
Oh, yay.
So I'm excited.
And
So
everybody's going to say, boy, these women are boring.
I don't care. I don't do this for you people. That's a personal joke in our family. We were on a family vacation with my brother and his family and my stepdad and my mom years ago, and me and the kids and Scott, and we were at a cabin, and Joshua was not having a good time, and he was in his late teens, and he came out and he goes, I am sick of you people. And it was just the way he said you people.
I'm
I thought
sick of these
I should
people.
get that tattooed on my body somewhere. I am sick of you people. So we're hoping Dr. Matthew is getting his technical issues addressed, and he will be back with us next week. So tell them about you, Lulu, and all your ancient
Well, I have
wisdom.
all my products on a website, ancientherbalapothecary.com. And my email is on that website too. It's Luann, Luann, at ancientherbalapothecary.com. Um, Contact me with any questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer them.
So this is a little bottle of scent that Luann mixed up for us to give out last month at Party Fest. And it's I have just declared it the Miles of Smiles signature scent. And it is bergamot, is that right? Bergamot, frankincense, and myrrh. And it
Mm-hmm.
is just lovely. And I wear it as a perfume now. And I've actually had more than five, less than 10 people contacted me wanting to know what this is because they love it too. So it's a wonderful scent. And the reason I'm telling you this is that you can have a scent customized for a party favor at a wedding or a shower or a birthday party or something like that. And you can pick the scents that you want. I just love this though. It calms me down. So this is what keeps me from
Yeah,
killing people.
yeah, we can make it as favors for you to give to your guests.
Yep, whoever, or we can even come on site and let people customize their scent right there and everybody get their own little scent. So anyway, this is Miles of Smiles events. And yes, we're fortune tellers and so much more. And then I'm Deborah Colleen Rose. I'm a spiritual coach and communication educator. I do know how to communicate properly. I just don't choose to sometimes. And because it is a choice. And then we are also, oh, there's that royal we. We are
And we,
private investigators, have been for years. And you can find us at Investigative Solutions Group Unlimited, isgu.com. And so what I have figured out is that everything I do gives you information that you need to be able to make better choices. Isn't that fun? So we're talking again. Watch out, and we will see you guys next week.
bye now.
Bye bye.